Cory, what's your read on this?
Well, I mean, I can't say I'm completely surprised at this. I was frankly surprised that Buffett held in so long. The fundamentals of IBM's business are not the kind of fundamentals that he tends to like in a business. He's not afraid to step into a business as it's being turned around and making progress. But when you look at IBM's results over the last few years, you know, the stock, now his first purchase of the stock was at a lower level, but he bought a lot of stock when it was near its all-time highs in 12 and 13. That's when most of his stake was purchased. And so this has been a money-losing position, we think, for Warren Buffett, but certainly a difficult one. And the corporate results, frankly, reflected a business that's contracting, not growing, which, of course, is what Buffett wants.
How much has he lost?
We don't know the numbers yet because we don't actually know what he paid for the stake itself. We don't know if we're actually going to find out at all. It's going to depend on sort of when he sells, what he sells. But fundamentally, he didn't make money on the trade. And it's a reflection of IBM's business. I mean, if you look at any series of numbers in IBM, in particular, if you look at the sales figures, you see a business that's been shrinking every year. Now, IBM said we're going to shrink the business. Ginny Rometty's plan was to shrink the top line and to grow the bottom line by being in higher margin businesses. But you look at the EBITDA growth, well, there hasn't been any. EBITDA, earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization, has been falling, down 5%, down 7%, down 12%, down 11%. It's getting, not only is it getting bad and getting worse, it's getting worse faster. And that's a great concern. It's obviously not the kind of business he wanted to be involved in.
Now, Buffett has said in the past that he doesn't understand technology. He has a stake in Apple as well, but he doesn't own an iPhone. In fact, he still has a flip phone, and apparently he's quite happy with that. Is this investment proof that he maybe shouldn't be investing in a sector he doesn't really understand?
Yeah, I mean, I think really what he doesn't understand is really about the valuation of tech stocks and stocks that are valued on what they have yet to do as opposed to what they've been doing. Not necessarily just, you know, the intrinsic value and the free cash flow generation from the business is sort of always on the come. And I share with them that as much as I've been covering technology for so long, it's hard to believe in companies that haven't done anything yet. It's really hard to do what venture capitalists do. His business model is really built on the Benjamin Graham model of finding discounting future cash flows, understanding the intrinsic value in the business. There was a clue, however, that this wasn't his kind of company. In the most recent annual letter, you know, Emily, that when the annual letter comes out from Bericshire Hathaway, I abscond to a quiet room very early on a Saturday morning and go through the letter. And I got to this section this year where he was talking about what kind of businesses he and Charlie Munger like and the kind that they don't. And he talked about, I think we've got the exact text of the letter available, but he talks about sort of how he and Charlie look at the stock market, and they learn, Charlie Munger, of course, is his business partner, and he says, Charlie and I cringe when we hear analysts talk admiringly about managers who always, quote, make the numbers. In truth, business is too unpredictable for the numbers to always be met. When they do, a CEO's focus is centered on Wall Street will be tempted to make up the numbers. Well, IBM always makes its adjusted EPS number. They boast about that in conference calls and press releases and in emails to journalists. But the stock tends to suffer because they seem to be focused on making adjusted numbers, not able to make the business any better. And so I think that was a clue to us that Warren Buffett had kind of given up on IBM.